So I was watching your show as well as my favorite show, Undisputed, and I noticed that Paul Pierce have joined Undisputed. Now it seems like Paul Pierce has joined Fox Sports One, and first and foremost, I've been talking about when NBA season started that I'm pretty sure Undisputed is going to have their NBA panel and Keyshawn and Richard Sherman is still going to be there. And, Michael Irvin will occasionally make an appearance only when it's football, when it's Monday morning or Friday afternoon. You may see Michael Irvin. But when they do their NBA coverage, I knew that they was going to add more personalities there. You knew they was heading this direction because they signed Rachel Nichols earlier, and she's going to give her expertise as far as doing one-on-one interviews with NBA players. She has a great relationship and great chemistry with a lot of NBA players, today's NBA players. And I was recruiting Jalen Rose. I thought Fox Sports 1 was going to hit that direction and sign Jalen Rose. I think Jalen Rose on Undisputed would have been an excellent choice. Now, I know a lot of people think that Jalen Rose and Skip Bayless got murder beef. They can't stand each other. And if you are not familiar with their beef, when Skip Bayless was at the Worldwide Leader of Sports, ESPN, him and Jalen Rose had a disagreement live on television. Basically Jalen Rose didn't appreciate how Skip Bayless would mock a lot of NBA players, calling them trash and bums and things of that nature. Not only Skip Bayless was doing that, but Stephen A. Smith was doing that. Rob Parker was doing that. Everybody was doing that. But I felt like Skip Bayless took it a notch above by calling, Chris Bosh Spice. And that irritated a lot of players in the NBA, LeBron James, and it really irritated Jalen Rose. But anyway, after they had their argument, Skip Bayless allegedly did not want Jalen Rose on First Take ever again. And people are alluding to that, saying, I don't see how that would fit or work with Jalen Rose and Skip Bayless. I think, I don't think it's that serious and that deep, but nevertheless, I digress. Let's just move on to the video. So, Paul Pierce, they chose Paul Pierce. And in the comments section on Undisputed's YouTube channel, a lot of people were commenting about the signing, saying that it just seems like Skip Bayless and Fox Sports 1 is hiring all of ESPN's leftovers, their scraps, the pieces that they don't want, the people that they don't want. And one person in the comment section saying, it seems like Fox Sports 1 and Skip Bayless is getting real cheap. But I felt like Jalen Rose would have been an excellent choice. And I kept telling everybody that when basketball season start, you're going to see Undisputed with their basketball panel. And it looks like Keyshawn Johnson, it's going to be a mixture between Keyshawn Johnson and Richard Sherman, going along with the ride when they do their basketball coverage over there at Undisputed. And I think how they got it worked out is Keyshawn Johnson is in the studio with Skip Bayless, and occasionally on remote, Richard Sherman is on remote, and he'll chime in a thing or two, particularly about basketball topics. From what I gather from Keyshawn Johnson at ESPN, as well as what he has been mentioning on Fox Sports 1, I think, no disrespect to Keyshawn Johnson, but I don't really think Keyshawn Johnson has a clue about professional basketball. I mean the X's and O's, the Larrys and the Joes. I think he knows all the popular players on the NBA, but as far as that, and I just think his knowledge of professional basketball is not going to be very educational nor entertaining. But he's a fan. He's a big time fan of the Los Angeles Lakers and LeBron James. So shout out to him. But I think as far as any other team in the NBA, he really not going to know anything about them unless they have a major star there or somebody that social media follows. I think Richard Sherman, and this is what I said when they went with this new cast, and letting go of Shannon Sharp. A lot of people didn't give Shannon Sharp his flowers. Shannon Sharp, everyone would, big up Shannon Sharp for being funny, for being popular and things of that nature. But a lot of people didn't give Shannon Sharp his flowers when he was on Fox Sports 1. Shannon Sharp knew the X's and O's in professional basketball in the NBA. He even knew the Jerrys and the Joes, other than LeBron James. He was a big cheerleader and pom-pom to LeBron James. But Shannon Sharp knew a thing or two about the National Basketball Association and, how trades are orchestrated and how plays were run and things of that nature. And I even said this, they're taking a huge downgrade as far as the knowledge perspective and the popularity perspective, and those were the two areas Shannon Sharp was the brightest at. He was funny, and a lot of people don't give him his flowers and his respect as far as being an interviewer. I mean, he is really sharpening his tools as far as doing interviews. If you don't believe me, go check out Club Shay Shay and you can see it for yourself. But nevertheless, when they went to this direction, I felt like they was going to take a huge downgrade, and you can see it. You can clearly see it, And I feel like having Paul Pierce on Fox Sports 1, I feel like that's a temporary thing until they get something permanent. Just like I feel like with Michael Irvin, Keyshawn Johnson, and Richard Sherman, I think those could be considered temporary decisions until they iron out how they're going to make this work. Obviously, out of all the shows on Fox Sports 1, Undisputed was the biggest show that had the biggest turnaround and had to make changes immediately on the fly. And the Shannon Sharp, it's just replacing Shannon Sharp is no easy task by any stretch of the imagination. But, nevertheless, I feel like Undisputed, it's going to take a year, maybe next year, until they iron their stuff out with what they already have there. But I think they have made some good choices. Rachel Nichols is a solid choice. Richard Sherman is a solid choice. Keyshawn Johnson is okay. And Michael Irvin is an above average choice. It's not like they made a bunch of bad choices or made bad mistakes. It's just going to take time for all of this to gel. But it's starting to be, I feel like Undisputed, and the one thing I like about Undisputed versus First Take, at times on First Take, and this was before Shannon Sharp went to ESPN, and sort of after, there was some shows where they had so many people on First Take, and you just couldn't follow along because you had so many voices in the room. And I feel like Undisputed is going to that same direction. Now, the difference between how ESPN did it, even though it was kind of irritating, but I could still follow along, and not every show was like this. Undisputed is crashing and burning with that concept because it's, in the beginning, they wanted all of these loud voices in one room. And they quickly found out that a lot of people were getting lost in the translation. A lot of people, you got so many people with so many different perspectives. You really don't have I still feel like Undisputed needs a full-time moderator. Skip Bayless should be relieved of his duties. I'm not saying he's doing a bad job, but you can't moderate and follow along with the conversation. And there have been times where Skip Bayless has not been following the conversation. He's sort of like waiting, like in the background, just hoping to hop in and chime in with his takes. I feel like they need a full-time moderator to maneuver between the personalities. I feel like Skip Bayless should go back into his natural position. And I feel like once they do that, it's going to be like a three-man show. I think it's probably going to be Michael Irvin and Richard Sherman. And when Michael Irvin is not there, or when Richard Sherman's not there, Keyshawn Johnson will make his appearance. And then it'll be a two-man show, and they may have some powder puff pieces like Rachel Nichols or some other sports reporters coming in and talking about their interviews or what's going on in the National Football League or in the association and things of that nature. And I feel like that's when they're going to start getting their legs back. But as far as Paul Pierce goes, I think this is a temporary choice, in my humble opinion, but I don't think this is the right choice. And it would not surprise me none if they hire someone else when they get knee deep into basketball season. And, it still ain't too late for them to sign Jalen Rose, but they're going to have the same problem like they have with their football coverage. You just got too many people in the room, too many personalities, too many voices, and, it is what it is. But guys, tell me what you think. Rate, comment, subscribe. I will see you guys in the next video. Deuces.